All right, good morning and very warm welcome to today's Science of Mind Club. Today, again, we are meeting for this very special episode in the series of how do we reframe the negative beliefs and negative habits. So, starting with our daily ritual for Sunday, that we start with some nice quotes to set us up in the intention. The first quote is again for everybody to read. Your body is the 3D printout of your mind. Yeah, so this means that the way how we think, the way how we act, way how we make our habits, it finally results in the way how we shape up our body. Yeah, so change your thoughts, change your mind, change your body. Change your programming to support your outcome you want. Pick and choose your belief system. So this is about the choice, the moment of choice, which is the spark that can help you choose the right belief, choose the right thoughts, and this belief system will kind of manifest in itself in forms of productive habits that you form. All right, so moving on, this is one of my favorites. Are you mindful or are you mindful? Representation is representation. So how do you present your reality? How do you look at your reality, whether you see it as something that limits you or whether you see it as a motivation to change? So that is what the difference is, being mindful about the representations we have for the reality. Okay, this one says that events control us to the extent they lie out of our consciousness. So if there is a pattern that is out of your consciousness, if there is a behavior which is kind of, auto-programmed manner, autopilot manner, just hijacking your conscious mind and you are just getting into that behavior. Now, till the time it's out of your conscious awareness, that is the time it controls you. The moment it is in your awareness, the awareness is the first step to change any behavior. Okay, and this is about possibilities. Expand your awareness to expand your possibilities. So, this awareness is really, really crucial. And here in the Science of Mind Club, it is this very same awareness that we are building every Sunday, where as a group of really aware and mindful individuals, we come together and we get the essence of these topics that can help us reprogram our beliefs, our habits, and our life. So, this vision of Science of Mind Club is about a pro bono initiative, a free initiative that can help all the leaders, all the coaches to get equipped with these skills. It's just a 30 to 40 minutes connect where, first few minutes we are just interacting and then I share with you the concept of the day. And finally, these concepts are like building blocks, they build one on top of the other, and this foundation helps us to get very strong insights in the areas of psychology, NLP, and mindfulness. Yeah, and feel free to kind of share this. It is absolutely at no cost. That's absolutely right. Till the time people are ready to learn, we are making these videos and we are sharing with you so that you are getting a solid foundation for the techniques and the sciences that can help you shape your and mind of those who are around you. Still, if you're more curious, you can go on our website. There is a small Google site that we have put together. The intention is that this is a free knowledge which we want you to learn, to apply, and most importantly, to transform the lives of those around you. If you can change your own belief, which is stopping you, you can change your own habits, which are kind of restricting you. You can do the same thing for others. So this is what we want. We want people who are curious and who stay curious and who are continuously striving to become the best version of themselves. So that is the intention of this club, which we are hosting, this space we are holding. Now, last week we spoke about the frames and the beliefs that are kind of stopping us. Now, today is about mindfully choosing the awareness of that how we can set up some frames. So, what is this frame? As you can see in this picture, the frame is kind of a boundary within which we are looking at a picture. So let's say if I have a way of thinking, if I have an idea in my mind, and that idea becomes a belief with which I look at the world. That kind of defines the kind of responses that I choose, the behaviors I choose for any particular incident. So in a way, these beliefs and these frames are like unconscious filters. So if I have a filter that, let's say, when I get up in the morning and it is let's say 6 a.m. in the morning and I have to go office by 8, then I literally have those 2 hours, and my filter of looking at those 2 hours is that 2 hours are for me to kind of further rest and relax. So if I have that kind of a belief, that kind of a frame, that kind of an unconscious filter, then you can know that how my day is going to start. Let's say on the other hand, if somebody has a belief or a filter in mind that if, let's say, I have 2 hours in the morning, out of those 2 hours I can spend some time on myself, maybe reading something, maybe exercising, maybe doing something healthy. So these are the healthy habits that people form. And this also starts with something like a self concept. Somebody says that I am this. So that I am this, or that belief which is deep rooted about self and the way how we look at things, it is called the frame. Yeah. And many a times the frames with which we are looking at the reality, the way we are looking at ourselves, the others, as well as the experiences that we have in life, they can be a little bit distorted. So these distortions can be in form of things which are not true, that we think that it is like that. For example, one of the gentlemen said that his boss thinks that everyone is underproductive. So if he's looking at the reality of looking at people as underproductive, can you imagine that what kind of response he'll choose for his team? Can you imagine the kind of micromanagement he'll do for the team? So that way he's shaping up the entire organization culture in a very, very wrong way. Similarly, while we look at the office environment, it also starts happening at the home. For example, there is a father, and he thinks that his son is definitely in the bad company, and he's not respecting time. He's not respecting what the father says, and he looks at it at the son in a particular way. So when the son turns up, can you imagine the kind of discussions they will have on a breakfast table or a dining table? They're already framed in a particular way. Yeah. So many a times our beliefs of the world is something that we project onto others in forms of our own behaviors, in our own communication. For example, if in this case of father and son, this father would always be overly critical about his son's action, because he will be looking at it from the lens of that this kid is on the wrong way. Whereas what we can do to kind of challenge our own distortion. Okay, so the mind has got three things which can definitely color our judgment. First of that is distortion, looking at reality with a distorted frame. Second is deletion, when you are not looking at the actual instance where there are things, or where there are examples, there is data which challenges your own belief. So you delete that information. So that's the second thing. The third is when it generalizes. So let's say if there is one particular instance where somebody felt a particular way, they kind of generalize and kind of put it on all the instances in the life. Now, if we are getting into these three traps, we are limiting our own choices that we have. If, let's say, there is a person, there is a young kid who goes into the street and he sees that there is a dog who comes running and barking, that is one particular instance. Now, if that kid makes that judgment that all dogs are like this, then he'll be, limiting himself, or he'll be growing up in fear of dogs, and that can turn into a phobia. So this is where we have to always challenge ourselves. And a very good way of, a very healthy way of doing it is creating a powerful presupposition, which means, what are presuppositions? Presuppositions are like assumptions, you know. So when I enter a meeting room, I can have, let's say in my office, two thoughts. One thought can be that everybody will be judgmental about me. The second thought can be that everybody who's going to hear me in this meeting is going to really, really appreciate what I said. Now, if you see, both of these frames of looking at things, both of these assumptions are not true. Okay. But what we choose to believe will prime our communication. So it is very important that we have a positive presupposition, a really powerful and positive presupposition about the way how we expect any situation. And in that positive expectancy is a lot of times people just, go along with that communication. If there is a teacher, and just imagine if that teacher, like last time we discussed this example from, I think, one of the psychology experiments where these teachers were told that the class is not good. Now, if they are running this class, if they're teaching this class thinking that the students are not good, that in a way will color the teacher's perception, will color their actions, and they will be doing all those things which are done for a class which is not ready to learn. Whereas, the teacher has to come up with a thought or a presupposition that today is a new day, this is a new class, every learner is different, and let me teach for that kid who's there in the class to learn. Now, that's a powerful presupposition. In our lives, we all have such teachers who have not given up on us. And thanks to only those teachers who have not given up on us, or those coaches, that we are where we are. So, whenever we are interacting with people, whenever we are communicating, or whenever we are just thinking about life, it is important that we don't give up on life, because there are people who have not given up on us. So, it's about that mindset of possibilities, a mindset of choosing the frames that I believe, choosing the assumptions that I want to make about myself and others. Are they enabling me? Are they enabling the relationship? Are they enabling the outcomes? Or are they in a way distorted, deleted, or generalized? Yeah. So, what we want to leave you with today is a concept which I call winning super frames. So, what do I mean by winning super frames? So, friends, this is a concept of NLP. And when you look at NLP, NLP started with Dr. John Grinder and Richard Bandler, who kind of looked at people who were excellent, and they uh, reviewed their way of thinking, their style of thinking, and in a way, what are their frames, and they came up with some ideas. So every NLP workshop you attend, or every practitioner or master practitioner program, it starts with, first of all, orienting you to the frame of NLP. So I'm going to give you some presuppositions or these winning super frames of NLP. And this is just a starting point, and maybe you may think about and create your own frames that can work for you. So when you approach life, when you approach a day, or when you approach a new person, these are the frames that you carry with you, which can help you create a positive outcome. Yeah. So let me start by sharing some of these super frames. The first one is, there is no failure, there is only feedback. Yeah, this is really powerful. You look at an instance, you look at an opportunity, it can be either a winning opportunity or it can be a learning opportunity. The next one is, we have all the resources we need. The body and mind are one system. There are choices in response to every situation. You can model the successful performance behavior of anybody, and that can lead to success. People are much more than their behavior. The map is not the territory. Every behavior that you have always has a positive intention. And if you keep doing what you always did, you will keep getting what you always got. So it is important that we experiment and change the beliefs we have, the change our actions that can lead to the resources and the results that we want in our life. Yeah, so every experience has a structure, and that structure can be changed. So these are some of the frames that NLP sets for us. And the key here is that the frame or the idea with the greatest flexibility is something that is leading to success. So we want you to expand your horizon. We want you to expand the flexibility that you have in any situation. And that cannot happen with a rigid style of thinking, with distorted thinking, deleting crucial information, generalizing stuff. But then in every moment, thinking that how you can experiment, how you can be flexible, and how you can attain success. So, friends, with that, I want to leave you with this food for thought that if you want to change your beliefs which are not working for you, habits which are not working for you, you have to have a frame that sets you up with flexibility and that sets you up with some powerful assumptions about yourself. Because when you start to make those assumptions about yourself, those assumptions sooner or later will turn into reality. And that's how, with frames, we are shaping our reality. Yeah. So change your frame, change your realities, and be flexible. That is the first step. And you start with that awareness, and it's about awareness of taking that very first step after you know that that is something which is you want to change. Yeah. So today we started a little late. I think there's no time for question and answers today, but then for sure, if you have any questions, please feel free to share on the group, or you can also email, and we will be more than happy to take up these questions for you. This learning is definitely fun. This journey is definitely full of adventure, and whatever we learn, it is in our own learning spirit, in our own vision that we continue to share so that there are people who are getting benefited out of it. So take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, take care of your parents, and thank you so much for tuning into this Sunday's club. And really, really happy and honored to host this platform every Sunday where we can bring ideas together, bring people together so that they can become better week after week, day after day. So, wishing you all the very best. Have a wonderful Sunday ahead. Thank you, guys.